In honor of Labor Day weekend, I thought I'd work a little less by giving you guys a video I already partially made about a woman who did practically no labor to become famous. The first half of this was a Patreon exclusive from July. Thank you everyone who supports the habit at patreon.com/doseofbuckley. And the second half is about the hawk Tuah girl desperately continuing to cling to the edge of the cliffs of relevancy. Enjoy. What was the turning point for when every single thing on the internet needed to be monetized? I've run the South Park reference into the dirt, but there was a time when making money on the internet was considered a joke. Now, every viral sensation seems to believe their 15 minutes of fame should be worth a fuck of a lot more than 15 minutes of pay. And so, perhaps you won't be surprised to hear that the girl who got famous for making a joke about spitting on dicks wants to try and cash in on her fame. First, the obligatory, "What, you didn't hear about this chick?" Well, meet hawk Tuah Girl.
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh, you gotta give him that hawk Tuah and spit on that thing, you get me?
Yes, this clip or similar remixes of it went viral last month. She became the new lady shouting at a ghost on an airplane, the new woman who glued her hair to her head, or maybe the new boy who really likes corn. We all have a good laugh at the clip. Eventually your mom finds out about it 2 weeks after it's not cool anymore and sends it to you. You pretend to laugh, but that's when you know it's over. That meme's been bled so dry it looks like Kristen Ritter in Breaking Bad. But hawk Tuah Girl, real name Haley Welch, whatever, is not ready to let this go. Of course, she started selling merch. Rolling Stone reports she'd made about $65,000 in sales. After actual costs and paying the dude who's making the hats, her profit is probably about $50. And then she appears at a Zach Bryan concert. No, not Luke Bryan. No, not Zach Brown. Zach Bryan. For this sad little moment. It reminds me of the episode of The Simpsons when Homer bowls a perfect game, becomes a local celebrity, and then tries to do a walk-on at a Penn and Teller show. It's okay if you don't remember this, it happened in season 11, no one watched it. Or last year when Pinky Doll showed up at the Streamy Awards to just say her catchphrases, and the crowd gave her a pity clap. It's embarrassing. But afterward, she went backstage to do an interview for Zach's girlfriend's podcast, Plan Bree, where she detailed her plans and debunked some rumors. Apparently, people thought her viral video got her fired from her job as an elementary school teacher, but she said she was working at a spring factory, which she has since quit. She's hired a manager and says she's going to go to LA or New York. For what? To do what? She claims she'll do a show and then be on a bunch of podcasts. Like what fucking show? She's gonna have a one-woman show on Broadway? She's gonna do sets at the Comedy Store? She's a catchphrase in a stupid hat. She has nothing else. But she's decided to uproot her life for this. I gotta tell ya, whoever this manager is saw her coming a mile away. She's from Tennessee, no doubt not far from Nashville, a city full of wannabe stars. I'm sure unsigned talent are on every street corner, literally sleeping there. Some carny slimeball was more than willing to sign her, get her to pay them a salary, and then take a percentage of any money she does get during the brief period that Jimmy Fallon or someone might want to have her on the show, and then dump her when the leads go cold. Then is back to Nashville to find the next idiot to use up. Luckily, since she worked at a spring factory, I'm sure she'll be able to bounce back. I'm sorry, I know, I had to. But I watched what I could stomach from the interview. She's not exceptionally charismatic. She mentioned she dropped out of school. She hasn't had an interesting life. She doesn't show herself to be particularly bright or mention any talents that she has, beyond the one that she's become famous for, which by the way is gross as hell. You know that the hawk in hawk Tuah suggests working up some phlegm from the throat before spitting. Ladies, no. Just no. No guy wants a mucus job. And I know some people might find this sexist that I'm going to suggest that the only real way that she makes any big money off of this is by starting an OnlyFans, but Again, she got famous for saying that in order to make a man happy, you should spit on their dick while blowing them. So, let's not pretend like I'm suggesting this for fucking Amanda Gorman or something, okay? But she's already proven she doesn't have the moral fluidity, pardon the pun, of someone like Belle Delphine, who understood that she could sell her bathwater to lonely perverts and make a bundle. She said during the interview that she was offered $600 to spit in a jar, and she called that revolting. That's revolting? It's what made you famous. But the last girl to get famous from a catchphrase, the cash me outside girl, tried a career in entertainment, failed, and only started raking in the riches when she turned 18 and opened an OnlyFans, because a bunch of sickos were rubbing their hands together waiting for the day the mouthy teen from Dr. Phil took her shirt off for them. I'm sorry, Haley, but if you think you're worth more than spit in a jar, you have greatly overvalued yourself. Start hawking, girl, because it's the only way your cup's gonna runneth over. Alright, so I made that video about a month and a half ago. How wrong was I? Let's say slightly. I mean, this is definitely the longest 15 minutes I've ever seen. So far, everything she's done has been random public appearances. Nothing to showcase any talent because, again, as I said, she doesn't really have any talent to speak of. She was apparently paid $30,000 to judge a swimsuit contest in Florida, adding to the strange moral code she has. Got famous for making blowjob jokes, won't take her clothes off, won't spit in a jar, will objectify other women who take their clothes off for cash prizes. Then, a clip circulates from an appearance she does at a festival called Rock the South, in which, well, this happens.
All right, let's hear it for Warren Saunders and Jelly Roll. Woo! All right, y'all give it up for Haley.
Yeah, no one makes any noise or appears to even know who she is. Probably because they call her Haley, not Tuah Girl. If she doesn't say the line, Bart, no one even knows who she is. Then most of August is pretty quiet. Maybe she's finally fallen off the radar? Nope. She makes an appearance at a New York Mets game to throw out the first pitch. This is, as far as I know, her first appearance at a family event. Baseball is America's pastime. It's not a bunch of slags in swimsuits or drunk uncles chewing chaw and drinking beers while Jelly Roll country raps about killing yourself. This is wholesome Americana. Fun for the whole family. Watching guys grab their crotches while you eat a batting helmet full of nachos. Anyway, the Mets can't even be bothered to have her throw to their catcher, as is customary. They basically just let her and her kinda pug-faced but weirdly hot friend that she's been nice enough to drag with her everywhere play catch. And the internet gets mad. Well, after they make jokes like, the Mets know all about sucking. Great, now explain who she is and how she's relevant to your 7-year-old daughter. Imagine being there with your child and having to explain who this degenerate is. The culture is so shitty, propping up the worst possible people. Go ahead, parents, and explain to your children what this person has accomplished to get the honor to throw out the first pitch. Decision makers equal have to be kidding me. And while I agree to some degree, if people want to waste money booking her for events, they should probably stick to more adult-oriented things. But they've had plenty of adult-oriented entertainers do this. Maybe I just managed to be in the wrong echo chamber, but I didn't see anyone upset about Snoop, a man famous for rapping about bitches and hoes and using a lot of drugs, getting the honor of carrying the Olympic torch and representing America. He's also thrown out the first pitch at ball games. Literally did it a few weeks ago for a baseball team named after the profession of making beer. If anything, it's a great teachable moment. Tell your kid, oh, listen, sweetie, she's famous for saying a gross thing on the internet, and she doesn't know this, but everyone is laughing at her, not with her. Don't be like her when you grow up, okay? So, the pearl clutchers can relax their grip a little. You could also just say to your kids, I don't know, honey, I don't think she's anybody. I don't know, maybe she's friends with someone on the team or something. But people defended this by saying, well, she was there to raise money for America's vet dogs. She explained this in a tweet that she wants to spread awareness and donate to this charity that pairs dogs with war veterans for a forever home. I gotta admit, this is actually a really smart strategy. She's built up a lot of goodwill this way. Her defenders will tell you she's using her fame for good. She even donates some of the money that she makes to animal shelters. In fact, I think I'm gonna try this. If you're ever mad at me, you think I had a shitty take on something, or that I'm a worthless leech on society because I make YouTube videos for a living now, well, I use the money I make to take care of this cat. Look at it. Look at this cat. What, you want this cat to die? You want animals to suffer, you sick freaks? Wow, how low of you to hate all cute animals like this one and want them to die. So, good work, Haley. You went from joking about spitting on cocks to using your money to save bitches and pussies. You've become wholesome when before you were just some hole.